Welcome back to my channel Liberty Old Coin the channel, where history meets hidden opportunity and everyday items can turn into extraordinary discoveries. Today's story is about value. First up, today we are talking about one single coin, the Australia 10-cent 1976 Elizabeth II coin. Just one coin, but a piece of history that has captured the attention of collectors across the world. The 1976 10-cent coin was issued by the Royal Australian Mint as part of Australia's decimal currency system, which originally began in 1966. By 1976, the country had fully embraced decimal coinage, and this year's issue became part of everyday Australian life. On the obverse of the coin, you will find the portrait of Elizabeth II. During 1976, Australia was celebrating a dynamic period of growth and modernization, and the Queen's effigy symbolized stability and continuity within the Commonwealth. The reverse of the coin features the iconic lyrebird, one of Australia's most fascinating native birds. Designed by Stuart Devlin, this elegant image gave the 10-cent coin a strong national identity that collectors still admire today. The coin was struck in CopperNickel, weighing 5.65 grams with a reeded edge and a diameter of 23.6 millimeters. Its solid composition ensured durability, allowing many examples to survive decades later in impressive condition. Now here's where things get exciting. While millions were minted, not all 1976 10-cent coins are equal. Certain high-grade, uncirculated examples, especially those with sharp details and brilliant mint luster, have become highly desirable among collectors. Coins preserved in mint state condition can command impressive prices at auctions. A flawless specimen graded at the highest levels has the potential to reach $500 or even higher, depending on demand and certification. What truly drives the value is condition, rarity in top grades, and collector competition. When a coin survives nearly 50 years without heavy wear, it becomes more than currency. It becomes a preserved time capsule. The mid-1970s were a fascinating period in Australian history. The country was evolving economically and culturally, and this small silver-toned coin quietly circulated through shops, markets, and everyday transactions. Over time, many of these coins were lost, damaged, or heavily worn. That naturally reduced the number of premium quality examples available today, increasing their appeal in the collector's market. Professional grading services have played a huge role in elevating the coin's status. Once encapsulated and certified in top mint state grades, competition between collectors can push prices significantly higher. Imagine discovering a bright, sharply struck 1976 10-cent coin tucked away in an old collection or inherited jar. That ordinary-looking piece could potentially represent hundreds of dollars in collectible value. The coin's historical importance, combined with strong collector demand for high-grade decimal issues, gives it lasting investment potential. Many enthusiasts actively search bank rolls and collections, hoping to find an exceptional example. Another factor that adds to its attraction is the portrait variation era. The effigy used during this period represents a distinct chapter in Australia's numismatic timeline, making it even more collectible. Auction records have shown that pristine examples can exceed $600 when two serious bidders compete for a superior graded piece. The stronger the eye appeal, the stronger the final price. This is not just spare change. This is a nearly half-century-old official issue of the Royal Australian Mint, representing national heritage and craftsmanship. Collectors around the world recognize Australian decimal coins for their artistic design and quality, striking standards. The 1976 10-cent coin stands proudly among those admired issues. If you own one, especially in uncirculated or near-perfect condition, it is absolutely worth having it evaluated. The difference between an average coin and a premium specimen can mean a dramatic jump in value. So remember, we are talking about one specific coin, the Australia 10-cent 1976 Elizabeth II coin, and in the right condition, it can reach $600 or more in today's competitive collector market. Keep searching, keep checking your collections, and never underestimate the hidden treasures that history leaves behind. Sometimes, extraordinary value is already in your hands. Next coin, the coin in your hand, the 1978 Australian 10-cent piece, might look like just another piece of loose change. But let me tell you why it is a fascinating piece of monetary history with a story that connects you to the wildlife, art, and royalty of the late 1970s. This coin is a small piece of copper nickel that has been traveling through pockets, piggy banks, and cash registers for nearly 5 decades. The first thing you need to appreciate is the sheer number of these coins that were produced. The Royal Australian Mint in Canberra struck a massive 48.4 million of these coins for general circulation in 1978. When you hear a number that high, your first instinct might be to think it's as common as dirt, and in its worn, everyday condition, you would be absolutely right. But the value of a coin is not just about its age. It's about its story, its condition, and the specific details that make it stand out from the other 48 million. Look at the obverse, or the head side of your coin. You see the young bust of Queen Elizabeth II facing to the right, wearing the famous girls of Great Britain and Ireland diamond tiara. This portrait is the work of the renowned artist Arnold Machin, and it's known as the second portrait of the Queen. It appeared on Australian coinage from 1966 all the way until 1984, so the 1978 version is a classic representation from the middle of that era. This is the face that millions of Australians would have seen on their money every single day, a constant, regal presence during a time of significant social and political change. The inscription around her reads, Elizabeth II, Australia, 1978, forever linking this piece of metal to her reign and the nation it was made for. Now flip it over to the tail side, and you're greeted by one of the most iconic and beautiful designs in Australian coinage history. It is the Superb Lyrebird, designed by the gifted artist Stuart Devlin. Devlin was responsible for designing the entire first series of Australian decimal coins, and his lyrebird for the 10-cent piece is a masterpiece of miniature art. The design shows the bird in stunning detail, with its magnificent, elaborate tail, plumes fanned out and arching forward over its head. This is the Superb Lyrebird, a creature famous for its incredible ability to mimic almost any sound it hears, from other bird calls to the sound of chainsaws and camera shutters. To have such a dynamic and uniquely Australian creature on a coin that was handled by millions of people every day was a brilliant piece of nationalistic pride. Stuart Devlin's initials, the tiny letters SD, are tucked away on the reverse, down near the lyrebird's foot. Finding these tiny initials on a worn coin can be a thrill in itself. The denomination 10 sits proudly above the bird's head, a simple and clear declaration of its face value. This combination of the regal portrait and the native wildlife creates a powerful connection between the monarchy and the unique natural environment of Australia. It's a daily reminder of the country's identity, all contained within a circle just 23.6 millimeters in diameter and weighing 5.65 grams. The coin is made from CopperNickel, an alloy that gives it a silvery appearance and makes it durable enough to survive for decades in circulation. So, let's get down to the question you really want answered. What is it worth right now? If you pull a 1978 10-cent piece out of your pocket that has been jangling around with other coins, it will likely be in what collectors call circulated condition. It might have scratches, dings, and the details on the queen's hair or the lyrebird's feathers might be a bit worn down. For that coin, the reality is that its value is still very close to its face value. You can expect it to be worth about 10 cents to 67 cents USD, which is essentially its melt value in the current market. It is not going to make you a millionaire overnight. In fact, most online coin catalogs and price guides list the standard circulated 1978 10-cent coin as being worth less than $1, specifically around the 67 cents mark. The massive mintage of 48.4 million ensures that there is no shortage of these coins for people who want one for their collection. However, and this is a massive however that I want you to pay close attention to, the story changes completely when we talk about condition. In the world of coin collecting, condition is king. The difference in value between a coin that has been in circulation for 40 years and one that has been perfectly preserved is absolutely staggering. This is where the true potential for value lies. The 48.4 million figure is for standard circulation coins, but the Royal Australian Mint also produced a small number of special coins in 1978. They minted 39,000 proof coins specifically for collectors. These weren't meant to be spent. They were struck with special dies on polished planchets and packaged in protective sets, like the 1978 uncirculated coin set housed in a red plastic wallet. A proof coin is a thing of beauty. It has mirror-like fields and frosted, detailed designs. Finding a 1978 10-cent coin in this pristine, uncirculated condition is the real treasure hunt. And we have evidence from the numismatic world just how valuable a perfect example can be. Leading coin grading services like PeaceGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, grade coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. A 1978 10-cent coin has been certified by PeaceGS at the exceptionally high grade of MS66, Mint State 66. This coin is virtually flawless under magnification. The PCGS price guide and population report for this specific coin tells us just how rare this top-tier quality is. According to their data, only 14 coins have ever been graded higher than this particular MS66 example, and only 23 coins are graded the same. Out of 48.4 million, only a handful are in this elite condition. This extreme rarity and high grade is what drives value through the roof. A coin in standard circulated condition is worth face value, but a coin in MS66 condition is worth hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars. The precise price for a 1978 10-cent at that level can fluctuate, but you're looking at a premium that is thousands of times its face value. To put this into perspective for you, consider a similar coin from a different country or even a different year that has been sold in high grade. For example, a 1970s Australian 10-cent coin in superb gem uncirculated condition can easily sell for over $1,000 at auction. The PCGS data showing that there are only 14 coins better than MS66 tells you that you are in the presence of a world-class rarity if you happen to own one in that condition. What does this mean for the future value of a 1978 10-cent coin? The potential is massive, but it is almost entirely dependent on that one factor, condition. For the average circulated coin you find in your change, the future value will likely keep pace with inflation. It will always be worth its face value of 10 cents. And perhaps in another 50 years, it might be worth a few dollars in very fine condition. It will always be a common date coin from a high mintage year. It will always be a piece of history, but a common piece. It is the type of coin that many collectors will buy to fill a hole in their date set, but they won't pay a huge premium for it. They can find one easily and cheaply. But for that absolute cream of the crop, the coins that have survived in flawless, mint state condition for nearly half a century, the future is incredibly bright. As time goes on, more of these high-grade coins will inevitably be damaged, lost, or become tied up in permanent collections. The supply of MS66 and higher coins is already incredibly low, as the PCGS population report confirms. With only 14 known examples higher than MS66, the demand from wealthy collectors who need the finest example for their top population, registry sets will only increase. These collectors are willing to pay enormous sums to own the absolute best example of a date. The 1978 coin is also part of a complete set of decimal coins featuring the Mackin portrait, and building a perfect set is a major goal for serious numismatists. Second coin Australia 10-cent 1979 ElizabethII coin. Let's dive into the full story behind this fascinating piece and why collectors around the world want it, how many people are actively seeking it, how valuable it can actually be, and what makes its history so compelling. The 1979 Australia 10-cent coin was minted by the Royal Australian Mint as part of the official decimal currency, which Australia adopted back in 1966 when the dollar replaced the old Australian pound. This coin has the classic reverse design featuring the iconic Lyrebird, created by Stuart Devlin, a design that has delighted collectors and everyday users for decades. Wikipedia, on the obverse, this coin proudly displays the portrait of Elizabeth II, her effigy by Arnold Mackin, which was used on many Australian coins of that era. The combination of the Queen's portrait and the detailed Lyrebird design instantly gives this little 10-cent coin a special aesthetic appeal. Online Coin Club. In total, close to 37 million of these coins were struck for circulation in 1979, a large mintage number that means many were distributed across Australia and were used in everyday transactions. Online Coin Club. Though millions were made and many are still in circulation, there's a very enthusiastic audience of collectors who actively seek quality examples of this coin. Thousands of coin lovers around the world watch auctions and listings, checking for uncirculated, graded, high-grade, or proof examples so they can add the 1979 10-cent to their collections. These collectors range from beginner enthusiasts to serious numismatists, and many of them compete for the best specimens. eBay Australia. Collectors want this particular year because it's a symbol of an era. It represents a time when decimal currency was firmly established in Australia, and it carries the classic young bust portrait of Elizabeth II that many find visually appealing. Those who focus on completing sets of Australian decimal coins often list the 1979 10-cent as a must-have. Online Coin Club. Now let's talk about value. In everyday circulated condition, the 1979 10-cent coin might sell to collectors for a bit more than its face value, especially if it has nice luster and minimal wear. Listings show uncirculated pieces from rolls selling for several dollars because collectors know others are actively hunting these older decimal coins. eBay Australia. But the real excitement comes from high-grade, certified examples. When this coin is professionally graded at a high level, for example, MS67 by a respected grading service, auctions and listings show prices that can climb into the double-digit and even low triple-digit dollar range. Recent listings have shown graded specimens offered around $65 or more, and perfect proof or near-perfect certified coins can reach even higher prices among serious collectors. eBay Australia. There are even rare proof or deep cameo proof versions from 1979 that have been professionally graded and sold for handsome prices. Examples that stand out because proof coins are specially made and not released into general circulation. These proof pieces attract collectors willing to pay strong premiums. Vaultix collectibles. So is its value high or low? In ordinary circulated form, it might sell for a few dollars because many people have similar coins. But in top quality mint state or proof condition, rare graded examples can command dozens up to even around $100 or more at auction, which is a substantial premium compared to regular change. This premium exists because collectors are actively bidding, and many of them are searching marketplaces like auction sites, dealer inventories, and numismatic forums watching for quality pieces. eBay Australia. Many collectors focus on the condition, rarity of mint state coins, and eye appeal. If a coin is full original luster, crisp detail, and no blemishes, that dramatically increases its desirability. Because most of these coins were used in everyday commerce, high-grade survivors are much harder to find. Online Coin Club. The 1979 10-cent coin also represents a piece of Australian history. During the late 1970s, Australia was solidifying its identity with decimal currency, and this coin circulated in pockets, purses, cash registers, and vending machines throughout the nation. Over time, many collectors grew fond of these coins not just for their aesthetic design, but for the memories they represented. Wikipedia. Because the design remained consistent for decades, collectors often build sets by year, and that means each vintage, including 1979, has its own place in completing a full run of Australian decimal coins. That ensures steady demand from hobbyists of all levels. Wikipedia. Additionally, coin clubs and internet marketplaces have made it easier than ever for buyers around the world to find, share, and trade these coins, increasing global interest in certain years and grades. Online Coin Club. In short, while many circulated 1979 10-cent coins are readily available, the most valuable ones, uncirculated, high-grade, or proof specimens, are in demand and can fetch prices collectors compete for. That competition is what drives the market value up, and makes these coins crucial pieces for anyone serious about collecting Australian currency. eBay Australia. So if you happen to find a 1979 10-cent coin that's crisp, shiny, and looks almost new, it's not just a piece of metal. It's a collectible that could be worth much more than its face value, and you'll find eager buyers ready to offer strong prices for the right coin. eBay Australia. Collectors are watching, bids are happening, and the story of this humble little coin continues to unfold with every auction and collection it joins. eBay Australia. Next coin, the 1980 Australian 10-cent coin you hold, is not just a piece of spare change. It is a snapshot of a nation finding its artistic feet in the decimal era, and its story is one of surprising potential if you know exactly what to look for. This coin was born at the very beginning of a new decade, the 1980s, a time of big hair, bold fashion, and significant change, but the design on this coin was already a beloved classic by then. On the obverse, you see the elegant, young bust of Queen Elizabeth II, wearing her signature tiara, a design crafted by the renowned artist Numismatics. This was the second portrait of the Queen to appear on Australian coinage, and it graced the nation's pocket change from 1966 all the way until 1984. The inscription around her, Elizabeth II Australia 1980, connects this small piece of metal directly to the throne and to the land down under during a fascinating period of its history. Now, flip this coin over, and you're treated to what many consider one of the most beautiful and iconic coin designs in the world, the Superb Lyrebird, created by the incredibly talented Stuart Devlin. This reverse design has been a constant on the 10-cent piece since decimal currency was introduced in 1966. Devlin was tasked with designing the entire first series of Australian decimal coins, and his Lyrebird is a masterpiece. Look closely at the detail. The intricate patterns on the bird's feathers, the way its magnificent tail plumes are fanned out and arching forward over its head. This is the Superb Lyrebird, a creature famous for its astonishing ability to mimic natural and artificial sounds from its environment, making it a perfect symbol for the unique and wondrous wildlife found only in Australia. If you look very carefully on the reverse, down near the lyrebird's foot, you can find the tiny, hidden initials of the artist SD. Finding those little letters is like finding the artist's signature on a tiny piece of art, because that is exactly what this coin is. The denomination 10 sits clearly above the bird, a straightforward declaration of its worth, while the coin itself is made from a durable CopperNickel alloy, weighs 5.65 grams, and measures 23.6 millimeters across. It was struck at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, a facility that was still relatively young at the time, having only opened in 1965 to produce the nation's new decimal currency. So, your 1980 coin is a product of this youthful, ambitious minting era. Now, let's talk about the numbers, because this is where the story of value really begins. The Royal Australian Mint did not just make a handful of these coins in 1980. In fact, they produced a staggering number of them for circulation. The official mintage figures tell us that 55,084,000 of these 1980 10-cent pieces were struck for everyday use. When you hear a number that high, your brain might immediately tell you that this coin is as common as the sand on Bondi Beach, and in its worn-out condition, you would be absolutely correct. For the coin that has been jangling in pockets, tossed into fountains, and scratched against counters for over 40 years, its value is very close to its face value. You can expect a well-circulated 1980 10-cent coin to be worth anywhere from 10 cents to maybe $0.70. It is not a life-changing sum, but it is a piece of history you can hold. However, and this is the most important however you will hear today, there's another number you need to know besides that massive 55 million mintage. In addition to the circulation strikes, the Royal Australian Mint also produced a special batch of 68,000 coins specifically for collectors. These are known as ProofCoins. A ProofCoin is not made the same way as a regular coin. The planchets, the blank discs of metal, are specially polished. The dies used to stamp the design are also polished and treated to create a stunning contrast. The result is a coin with mirror-like, reflective fields in the background and beautifully frosted, detailed designs in the foreground, like the Queen's portrait in the Lyrebird. These 68,000 coins were never meant to be spent. They were carefully packaged in protective cases or sets and sold to collectors who appreciated them as miniature works of art. This distinction between a circulated coin and a proof coin, or even an uncirculated coin that has been perfectly preserved, is where the value explodes. On a popular online marketplace like eBay, you can see this difference in action. Sellers list coins described as choice uncirculated for modest prices, sometimes even with discounts, because while they are nice, they are not the absolute pinnacle of preservation. The real money, the maximum potential value we are chasing, is reserved for those coins that have survived in pristine, gem condition for the last 46 years. These are the coins that still have their original mint luster, the cartwheel effect of light spinning across the surface, with no distracting marks or blemishes. These are the coins that professional grading services would look at. To understand the maximum value, we have to look at auction records from reputable numismatic houses. These are the places where serious collectors go to buy and sell the finest known examples. In a major auction, a roll of uncirculated 1985-cent coins, which is a similar denomination from the same year, has been sold as part of a larger lot, indicating that collectors are actively seeking high-grade stock from this specific year. More tellingly, we can look at the auction results for other Australian coins from the same era. For example, a lot containing various coins, including rolls of 10 cent from 1981 and 5 cent from 1980 sold at auction for a significant sum, showing that there is a healthy market for bulk uncirculated material from this period. But for the individual coin, the absolute peak of value is found in the proof strikes. Think about it. Only 68,000 of these special 1980 proof 10-cent coins exist, compared to over 55 million regular ones. That rarity, combined with their flawless, mirrored beauty, is what commands the highest prices. While the exact price can fluctuate based on market demand and the specific grade assigned by a service like PeaceGS or NGC, a perfect, original 1980 proof 10-cent coin in its original packaging is a highly desirable item. The maximum value for such a coin could realistically be in the range of several $100s. If you had a 1980 proof 10-cent coin that was graded as a perfect 70, it could potentially be worth even more, but those are incredibly rare. So, where can you buy and sell these valuable pieces? If you're looking to buy a 1980 10-cent coin, whether to start a collection or to find a special gift, you have several options. Online marketplaces like eBay are a great place to start, but you must be careful. You can find everything from bulk lots of circulated coins to single uncirculated examples. Always check the seller's feedback and look for clear, high-resolution photos. Another excellent resource is online coin catalogs and collector platforms like ucoin.net or Numismatics, which often have marketplace features or can connect you with dealers. For the serious buyer looking for proof coins or high-grade, uncirculated specimens, you should turn to reputable coin dealers and auction houses. When it comes to selling your coin, the venue depends entirely on its condition. If you have a standard circulated 1980 10-cent coin, you can try selling in a lot on eBay or perhaps to a local coin shop, but do not expect a huge payday. If you believe you have a coin in exceptional condition, one that might be uncirculated or even a proof, your best bet is to approach a professional numismatic auction house. A company like Noble Numismatics in Australia regularly auctions high-grade Australian coins, and they have the expertise and the clientele to get your coin in front of the right buyers. They can provide a valuation and handle the entire selling process for you, ensuring you get the maximum price the market will bear. Now, the crucial question you have to ask yourself is, should you keep it or sell it? The answer lies in the condition of your specific coin. Take it out and look at it under a good light, preferably with a magnifying glass. Look at the highest points of the design, like the Queen's cheek and a Lyrebird's back. Are these areas worn down and smooth? If so, you have a circulated coin, and its value is mostly sentimental. It is a keeper for the history, but not for investment. If the coin looks like it could have been made yesterday, if the surface is bright and shiny with no marks, and if the details are razor sharp, then you have a potential gem. In that case, you should absolutely keep it, but keep it protected.